What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Digital Realm. In this episode, we're going to create a 3D logo. Simple, easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. Stay tuned. Alright, let's get started. First off, you see this UCF theme? Alumni here. So we're going to do a UCF themed logo, 3D logo. First thing we're going to do, I've already done it, but you could simply go on Google search, find your logo. We're going to use a UCF logo. Preferably a vector logo, something with a transparent background, large at the same time. Those are all preferable. If you could find it already vector, perfect. I wasn't able to, but I found this nice logo here. It doesn't have a transparent background, but we'll fix that. Simple fix. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna open Illustrator. Boom. I'm running an old version. You know, if Adobe wants to send me a CC for free, I'll take it. Really don't see a need to move to the next version. I've had this so long, so no reason to change. And let it run, let it load. I'll probably fast forward this video. Maybe not. We'll see. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I'm looking forward to this game though. So, the reason behind this video, or the reason I am really using the UCF logo, even though I love my school, very proud that they're doing very well this year, but they're coming here to Atlanta, playing Auburn, my wife's team, my wife's whole family's team. And I find that rather ironic and interesting. UCF, if you're from UCF or went to UCF, you kind of know our records before. When I went there, we were great. We were all right. I mean, not great. We were okay. Okay, why is this not clicking? What the heck is going on? Can I get a new window? There we go, new. So, when you file new, this really doesn't matter how you set this up, so you could just do whatever you want. So I'm gonna call it a UCF logo, just because, equal sign. UCF does equal logo, but right now we're gonna do a UCF logo. So I'm gonna drag and drop. I made mine 1,000 by 1,000. I like to keep mine square personally, but as you do this process, you might find an even better process. There's one thing I like to tell anybody who I work with: there's no wrong answer. You can get to the same conclusion so many different ways. So, you know, somebody might have a better version or a faster way to do things than I do. You know, I don't claim to know everything. Don't necessarily want to know everything, but I am open to learning new things, and that's the key. So now that we place this inside the art box here, inside the, if you just want to call it a box, artboard, we are going to go up here to live trace. We're going to do a live trace on it. As you see, the live trace made it black and white, but what it really did on what we were looking for is when we expand it, like I just did, that was right here. When we expanded after live tracing it, it gave us where we can cut out the background, and we have all these nice little shapes here. Boom, boom, boom. So we can grab all of these individually. Since it did turn it black and white, which I didn't anticipate that happening, I might go ahead and just undo this real quick. And again, this is learning for me too. I've done this before, but never live. So live is a little different. I can tell now that, you know, you don't get it right the first time. And it's actually kind of difficult to get it right the first time. So let's try a simple trace. Nope, not a simple trace. We're gonna try at least 6 colors. Can we keep the colors, please? That's all we wanna do. We just wanna keep the colors. There we go. So we're keeping the colors now. I think we did a color 6. I just selected. If the one you're working with turns it black and white or does something that you didn't expect, you know, undo, Control Z, Apple Z if you're on a Mac, and try a different one. So there's so many different options you can choose from just to get the results you're looking for. Don't be discouraged. And as artists, you know, you take it with a grain of salt because this is going to happen all day long. So as you see, we have all of our shapes now. We have our white, that's a different shape. We have everything's a different shape. So if you want to see what, if you don't know what a shape is, you know, we can grab this out of here now. And it's just its own entity. It's not all one image. Everything is its own entity. Now, with that being said, let me segue into what a vector image is for, you know, people who are watching who are like, when you have a logo and you're like, oh, I need a vector, but you don't understand what vector is. And maybe this is not the best description because I'm not the nerdiest person out there. So, and I'm not trying to offend anybody either, but a vector image essentially is allowing you to scale an image using shapes. Instead of rasterized image or image that you would get on a photo, like for example, the image that I pulled off the internet. This image, it has assigned pixels. So these pixels are assigned. So let's say I want to blow this image up to the size of a billboard even. It's going to become very pixelated. It's not going to be as sharp because these pixels are assigned. In contrast, when you have a vector image, the shape is assigned to the pixels. So you can blow up your shape as large as you want. And it's just going to reassign pixels and colors, if that makes sense. So, in a nutshell, a vector image is what you want to use for anything you could possibly think of, especially if you're creating a logo. Vector image is the way to go. It is a little more tedious and doesn't work well with photography. So, but as far as logos, vector images are always what you want to go because, you know, when you're creating a brand, you're going to put this on billboards, you're going to put it on business cards, you're going to put it on t-shirts, you're going to put it all on anything you possibly can. And you never know how big the thing is that you're going to put it on. So you want to make it versatile. So you saw that I got rid of all little extra fluffs. You know, sometimes it gives you a little extra, some extra points that you don't really need. All you need are the points that the logo encompasses in the logo. And right now I'm just checking the shapes. So I'm gonna make this a little bigger. You know, I'm being stingy with my screen space. I'm sorry. I'm being a little stingy. I'm sorry. But we're gonna just check the shapes. Make sure we don't have any extra noise, extra stuff going on here. Now in hindsight, or foresight better yet, a lot of these shapes, because I didn't build them from scratch, as you see this line here, you know, you can go in and, you know, clean this stuff up. You can clean it up by, if you go to the pen tool and delete anchor points. These are called anchor points, but you delete them and you can clean them up if you want to. Just so you get a nice crisp line. Oops. Crisp line. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not gonna go and clean up every point here. But like I said, later on down the line, when we bring this into a 3D program, each one of these points is going to represent a vertice. If you don't know what a vertice is, I might have to make another video. As simple as that, because it's going to be hard to explain what a vertice is if you're just getting into vector graphics. So what I'm going to do here, now that I have it kind of cleaned up, not really, but kind of cleaned up just for the purpose of this video, I am going to make sure, you see this very, very jagged and ragged. And I really don't want to do this, making it look jagged and ragged like that, but I really just want to explain how to make the process. And again, when you're doing it on your own, I emphasize that you go in and really get the details right. Emphasize it. It's very important. Details are super important. So what I'm going to do here is put this all on one layer. Now, you don't have to label the layer because we only have one, but with this being said, this is one of the things I ran into, is that if you have multiple layers and maybe some of the layers are hidden or whatnot, and you export out like we're about to do, it's going to export out all your layers, not just what's visible. It's going to export out all of them. So what we're going to do right now, the process of exporting, is go to File at the top, Export. We're still in Illustrator. Export. We're going to put it on the desktop. We're going to export out not an export. I take that back. We're going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to save as a SVG. And you're probably wondering, what is a SVG? Remember when I said vector? That's exactly what it is. A scalable vector graphic. Scalable vector graphic. Keyword. That's what you want to look for. Just like when you upload an image on Facebook and it's a JPG, or a PNG. Can't remember off the top of my head what PNG means right now. I know somebody's probably gonna call me out in the comments, but thank you. I can Google it real quick, but I won't. So we exporting this out as a scalable vector graphic here. Now that we have that done, I'm just gonna hide it. Just get this all out of the way. And we're gonna open Blender. Now what I love about Blender, I should make a video about this. The one thing I love about Blender is free. Free. I love free. I love free, and I love programs that work well. In Blender, it's come so long, a long way. Now, you might ask what, you might not even be asking, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. When I was learning this process, I learned on Maya. This was back in 2007, 2008. And I was introduced to Blender at the time. Oh man, they've come a long way. It's so much that you can learn from this program. But we're gonna get into that in another episode. So right now we're gonna go to File, Import. Oh, before we do that, I went ahead and deleted. There was a light here, there was a camera here. I went ahead and deleted everything. This is not called an outliner in Blender, but this shows everything in your screen. I'm not sure the term that what they call this. What is this called? A something. Oh, an outliner. Oh, it's still called the outliner. So it's called an outliner, but regardless, we're going to go to File, import, not export, excuse me, import. We're going to go to the scalable vector graphic. Go to the graphic that we made. I put it on the desktop, the UCF logo SVG from Illustrator. And of course, it's a little small. Now, if you need help navigating Blender, this isn't the video for that. Right now, I just want to focus on making a 3D logo. So what we're gonna do is scale this up. Under Tools on the left side, there's a tab that has all these different options. We're gonna go under Tools and Scale. And as you move your mouse, it'll scale. As you see, and it's getting bigger and bigger. But as you see, my center pivot point is kind of off. We want our center pivot point to be here, or that's best practices. So what I'm going to do is select all of these. They're selected already, and I'm going to go to understand. Tools, set origin. Now what I'm selecting there, that's not letting it stay, but we're going to set origin. Set origin, or the origin is what it's called in Blender, is the center point in Maya. So we're going to set the origin to geometry. So that's going to set the center point for each shape that we had in Illustrator. So you see, I can pull out the U now. That's the same shape. We're going to go back to Illustrator. This is the same shape here. Ooh. This is the same shape that we are able to now manipulate in 3D. We're pulling it out right here. Wow, okay. We're getting somewhere, huh? So now that we have everything centered, now that we have everything centered, and if you're new to Blender, you might be asking, what is this guy? And they call this the 3D cursor tool, something like that. But basically, when you create a new object, or if you're usually just when you're creating a new object, it pops up at this point. So it's like the point of interest, and you could change it by right-clicking for me. But I changed my controls to more Maya controls, so I'm not sure if you're using Blender controls. I'm not sure what the actual control is. But we're going to select everything, make sure everything is to the geometry, because I saw a stray over there. And everything's at geometry. And these are all the curves that are in the scene. So then what we're going to do, we're going to rotate. Rotate, I have the shortcuts, but I'm going to show you where to rotate. Just in Tools, Rotate. We're going to rotate like that. But I don't personally like using it that way. So what I'm going to do is use the shortcuts where it shows me the actual controllers. So now I can rotate how I want to. I'm going to move this up right there. And again, if this video is going too fast, if there's anything that you're like, man, how did he do that? You know, I'm willing to make another video. Honestly, I just want to teach everybody how to do some of the things I'm doing. And of course, create a brand, you know, create your own brand, market yourself. So this is kind of what this whole thing's about, to be able to market yourself. So look, ooh, 3D logo, whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at that. Now you might be asking, oh, it's still flat. You're just able to pan around it. It's flat still. You know, you're rotating around. Okay, I give you that. Kudos, kudos, Mr. Smart Guy. But what we're gonna do is add a modifier. I kind of went fast. Let me stop real quick You select the object, and over here on the right side, you get all like scene, if you want to call it scene, I don't even know what to call this. What is this area called? I don't know, editors. So you can set up your scene, you can edit objects and things like that. So what we're gonna do is hit this little wrench, add a modifier. When we add a modifier, simply just solidify this thing. That's all you have to do. Is solidify it. It's that simple. That's simple. Look at that. You can add thickness. You can drag the thickness, make it longer. Now, as you see on my screen, this is what I was talking about with the points. If you refine those points and make it like one point that curves across here, you won't get all of this jaggedness. You actually get a nice smooth geometry. Similar to here. Very smooth geometry. Remember, I deleted these points? It's a lot smoother here. So it's the same thing. You just have to clean it up and before you bring it in. So there you have it. In the next episode, I'm thinking probably show you how to light this thing. Show you how to put in some lighting and set it up to render it out. And you'll have a nice little splash page for your Facebook videos, Instagram posts, whatever. But it's a good starting point. You know, stuff like this, once you create 3D and make it 3D, you can take it into video games, all kinds of stuff. The first step is making it 3D. So I look forward to showing you more in the future. And if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment box. Subscribe to Digital Realm and follow me. You know, I'm looking for suggestions of things I can possibly do. I have a lot of experience in doing a lot of things. So again, I look forward to hearing back from you. Later, y'all. Peace.